This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.
Welcome back to Rooted Latinas, your go-to podcast for honest conversations, laughter, and a whole lot of relatable experiences. We're sharing our journey of adapting from a Latino household to life in the U.S., discussing challenges, transforming obstacles, and celebrating personal growth. Hello, we are back. How are you guys?
So good.
What's up? We're going to be talking about what everyone's been waiting for, right?
What's that?
It's a surprise for y'all. Just kidding. We're going to be talking about just our year-end reflections, what has happened, what have we learned from 2024, the good, the bad, whatever you guys want to share.
Yeah.
That will help our audience or all of our Latinas out there learn from us.
Yeah, I feel like we have to share the bad too because
Agreed.
we're human. That's part of it, and that's part of the growth.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
With that said, who's going to go first?
Spin the
Rocio.
La maíz. Okay.
A la maíz.
Talk to us, Rocio. Tell us what's going on.
Ay, pero, doctora. No,
How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
you know, going into 2024, I was trying to remember where I was at with my mindset. And I think we were all actually together in 2023 where we wrote a letter to ourselves, our future selves.
Yeah.
And I think we need to open it. I would love to open it at least our next episode to see what we said we would accomplish. But anyways, that being said, 2024 has been a whirlwind. I think it was one where I had to really dig deep within myself to understand what it is that I really want to do in life. And what I mean by that is, at the end of the day, I believe we're all so powerful. Mm-hmm. And we're so powerful that we can really accomplish anything we want in life. Like, without a doubt, I really believe that. And as you continue to achieve and you hit certain milestones, it's kind of was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I achieved that. Like, it feels good for maybe 5-10 seconds, you know, that you achieved that. And at the end of the day, that hasn't been what really fulfills me. So I've been on this journey of trying to figure out, like, what really brings me joy? What fulfills me? How do I want to give back and show up for the world? Yes. And I still can tell you guys, I'm not sure. I'm still on that journey and in that hunt. And throughout this year, I had a couple things that really stood out that were big moments in my life that kind of made me pause and stop all that I thought I wanted or believed in. The first one, I'm going to get very vulnerable with you guys and very real, but I was expecting. I think some of you guys know that. It was, I think I was supposed to be due in January.
Wow.
And it was super exciting. I couldn't see the hospital because I didn't have insurance. Entrepreneurs, y'all know that life, a little bit about that. So anyways, I was just kind of waiting. Things felt good. I decided to go one day to go to the doctors just because I wanted to know the gender. Like, I am very impatient. I wanted to know. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go to this 3 little piggies and figure out what my little piggy is. And when I went, that's where we found out the news that unfortunately there wasn't a heartbeat there. And I didn't understand in that moment. Like, I was upset. I felt all the emotions, and I didn't know, like, why. Like, what is this supposed to teach me? What good can come out of this? Mm-hmm. And I honestly, it made me feel and understand that no matter what I want to plan, no matter what I want to do, at the end of the day, it's his plan and what he wants to have happen. And I know God puts me in a place for what's best for me, and he has a bigger picture. And so I have to believe that. And so now I'm just I'm more present because of that. I am now really understand that plan all you want. There's always going to be life that happens to you. So it's all about how you look at things. And so I've just chosen to see this as a moment of, hey, just redirection for something. And when that moment will come, it will come. And if it's supposed to, you know. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I know that this is a topic that happens to a lot of women and we don't talk about it.
Right.
I didn't know what to expect with it either. It's happened to me when I was younger, but at this age, when you really want one, it's like a whole other feeling, you know?
Yeah.
But with that, it's brought Antonio and I so much stronger, even with Jay as well. And so I would just say to any of the moms out there that have experienced this, who have their angel babies, their rainbow babies, all of that, like, I feel you and you're not alone. And I know these things happen.
Yeah.
But there's also beauty, beautifulnulness that comes from the bad as well. So.
Yeah. We love you. We're here for you.
Thank
and
you, ladies.
I love the way you're looking at it and that you were spot on. You know, it's like things happen to, and I feel like maybe in our culture, Latinos, we don't talk about things like that. You do not hear like that. We don't blast, for the most part, we don't blast our stuff on social media, you know, and yeah, so thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you ladies being here and listening, but I just think it's so important to share because I wish I would have known some things that I didn't know going through it, and now I do. And so if I can ever help anyone not go through the same stuff and struggles, like, hey, all about that.
Yeah.
So, but that was one of the things that I would say was kind of a hard moment, but it's made me who I am and a better person overall. A highlight, I would say, you guys, it's been crazy. Maria and Mariana know this, Jamie, but y'all, we went in less than a year, we grew from 3 to 15 and then to 8. But with that, we surpassed just our community goals, our business goals, done more than I've ever thought we could in such a short amount of time. And with that, I think we failed forward.
That's a perfect way of saying it, girl.
Spot on, girl.
We failed forward, and I believe we've come to this place where it feels so good and so right and truly honoring ourselves. And what does it mean to be your most authentic self when collaborating and looking at business? There's business and there's personal, and differentiating those two has been a huge aha for me so far this year, and I want to continue to grow more on that.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. You next, Jamie.
Me next? Okay. 24 was a great year in the sense of I feel like I've touched on this before, but I am more present because having a baby, you're like, ooh, you know.
Yeah, your baby.
Yeah.
She was at our event.
She's 13
so
months
cute.
today.
Aww.
Yeah, 13 months running around. This weekend we learned that she doesn't know sharing, and obviously they're so little, but we drove to Sioux City for my friend's baby's birthday, and Gianna kept stealing the baby's toys. And then that one, she would just, she would grab it, she'd go get it and just, walk away with it. And the other baby couldn't walk as fast because she's learning how to walk, so she's got away with everything. But I'm they just don't know at that age yet, you know. But, yeah, just spending, lots of time with her. I definitely, it's an easy, no, and easy choice is to choose her all the time.
Aww.
So that's kind of nice. Yeah, the phone, still try to put it down as much as possible around her, you know, and encourage everyone else that's spending time to do the same with her. You know, I don't let her hold it because I don't want her to touch it and want it, you know, just little things like that. But no, it's been nice in that sense. And then, everything's going well. I'm trying to think of hard lessons this year. I'm gonna have to come back to that one because I'm trying to think of what, but
okay.
Yeah.
Your little one is definitely a huge highlight of 2024 in your au pair, in your growth, and your transitions too.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
One thing that you mentioned about not letting her hold the phone, even though you mentioned it's a small little thing, it's a big thing. I think about my mi ahijado, he's only 6 months, and he'll see my phone light up and he's wanting it, hasta se desespera trying to reach out to it, but it's they're so attentive, están tratando de evaluar todo, ver what that means, and they can get hooked. Like, su dedito just goes like this. Like, if he knows that he needs to, like, just touch it.
Yeah. Maria read a study about it, that if they get to hold it, they feel in control. And then it's just like, then they want it, and you know what I mean? But like her, like, she could be, obviously, because she FaceTimes like grandma and stuff like that. So she sees it. But yeah, and she never asks for it. She never wants it because it's just like far and she's here. But yeah, at the moment, like, you let them touch something, they're so smart that they're like, oh, okay, I can get it. I just have to ask for it. You know, or I just have to cry for it and stuff. So yeah, it's just about that. But
and she's so cute. We'll have to show you the video of our client event.
Oh yeah, she's in it.
Yeah, because she was like running around everywhere. I was like, Maria, let her run around, because she was like running everywhere. It was so cute. She's adorable.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you guys? I'll come back with my.
Jeez, as you know, as Rocio was speaking, and just hearing her out, you know, she touched a bit about like just us three, you know, growing the team and then going from 13 to 8. I think just that in itself really had its own growth opportunities, its own lessons, and also just like earlier in the year, we talked about like my own shadow work journey and what that means now, right? It's just a constant work, you know, that you have to continue doing. And I think for me, it's a different type of shadow work, because now it's like I'm 34, and my babies are growing. Like, it's crazy to think. I mean, you ladies know, right? And even just seeing your nephews and nieces grow too, Maria, like. It's one of those things that's like, geez, you know, it's always constant evolvement and growing and lessons learned. And even when you fail, that's growth, right? So I think just in general, for me, it's just the continual work within myself it's just never ending. Yeah. It's just continuing to work.
Is there anything in particular that like stands out to you, Mariana?
And,
like an example?
Geez, I mean, I think just in general, and like, one, being an entrepreneur, and like, you know, I think about from the spectrum of like the things that we do go through, not having, you know, healthcare. Like, it's a lot more expensive, right? Like, taking care of yourself is so important, especially now in this age, I would say, you know, for myself. And also growing into like the business woman and leader is definitely something that for me was just a lot. Like big growth, you know, and it's still constant growth, I think.
Girl, yes. Real quick, I wanted to go back on this because you touched it, but I think it's really big. You said self-care.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, girl. I was just gonna say, what does that look like for you?
I think it's learning how to put yourself first, like stop being a people pleaser. And truly, what does that mean for you now? Like, what is that joyful? What does that bring you joy as a woman and everything else that we have to be? Like, who are you outside of that? You know, who are you outside of being a mother? Who are you outside of being a friend, you know, a businesswoman, like an aunt, right? Who is that for you outside of that? And I think for me, it's like, just the simplest thing, like I like to just have my girl dinner and like watch a good Netflix show, and I send the boys to sleep. You know, like that's for me, and it's so simple, but it's huge, right? Loving to do my nails, something that, you know, I won't like, but like I won't. ¿Cómo se dice?
That's a non-negotiable.
You know, you know, getting a spontaneous haircut like I did this year. You know, just going from long to short, like. Those things that kind of bring you back to life and being the most feminine yourself that you can be.
Yeah. I love that. One thing I'll always remember, girl, when you talk about that is like, this is Mariana. Like one time we were talking and we were like kind of, I don't even know, I think we were talking about maybe budgeting. And I was like, okay, girl, pues vas a tener que dejarte hacer las uñas, el pelo y todo eso. No. She's like, no, I'm not going to do that. She's like, I'm going to just make more money.
Mic drop.
Yes. Okay, yes. Love that perspective.
Yes.
I think that's so cool. I was just going to echo, like, self-care. You can't take care of others if you don't take good care of yourself.
Yes.
And
1,000%.
like, thanks for sharing that and bringing that to light.
Yeah, my takeaway from what you said was the continuous growth. Like, yes, we reach our goals and we get there, or you know, we feel better because we got these new habits or whatever, and dropping old habits. But what's next? You know, always think of like, what's next? Like, how can I be better? You know, the continuous part is huge.
Yeah,
Every year.
sure.
What do they say? The top of every peak is the bottom of the next mountain.
I
Yeah.
can see that. One thing that you were talking about, I think, kind of goes into what I was going to say is just the shadow work. I never truly understood what that was until, like, Mariana would share a lot of, like, the back end stuff that she would do. And I think for me, 2024 has truly been that. Like, I think you get to a point where, like, you feel like you truly know yourselves or understand yourself, and then you start digging and start learning, and it's like, okay, you know, everyone has things that trigger them, but have you ever sat down and really understood, like, why that triggers you? If that's, you know, with your partner, if that's with your business partners, if that's just with anyone, or even just, like, you know, the biggest thing, a lot of people compare themselves to other people. And I was one of those. Like, I'd be like, oh, she's at a whole other level. She's doing so much more. Like, it was a constant battle with myself, even though, like, I will show up and just be, like, confident. There was always those, like, back end stuff that I'd go home and be like, damn, like, yo necesito estar allí, or why am I not there, you know?
Yeah.
And I think for me, 2024 really brought an eye-opening of, like, I was focusing on a lot of the wrong stuff that truly did not even bring any joy, had nothing to do with me, you know. It was all of the outside noise, and being able to block all that out through meditation. If you guys haven't meditated, like, I literally had started meditating months ago, and I remember one time I called Rocio and I was like, girl, I was meditating and I felt like this. And she's like, wow. She's like, yes, that's how it's supposed to feel. But if you haven't meditated, like, I feel like that has truly opened my eyes to calming my mind, because as entrepreneurs, you guys know, like, we're thinking about the next thing and then the next thing and then opportunities and all of this stuff. And to get to a point where you just quiet your mind and you're just laying there, like, oh, it's like the most peaceful thing you could ever feel, and brings so much more clarity to your purpose, to what you're doing. Starts blocking off all those negative energies that you shouldn't be focusing on. So for me, it was a lot of that for 2024. And we went through so much that it even enhanced what I needed to be focusing on, to make sure that if that happened again, because, you know, regardless, you're going to continue to fail forward. That's the only way you're going to grow. But you know that when it happens again, tú ya sabes cómo responder, or tú ya sabes how to get yourself out of that funk, because you've done the work, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that spending so much more time with myself and understanding has been key, and continue to grow and continue to push forward, and seeing truly what that passion is in me. And even just the conversations we have with the ladies, like, now, I thought we had powerful conversations before. Now we have even more deep, powerful conversations as to, like, okay, truly, where are we going with this? And I think that has helped us pivot in the good, bestest of way, if that's a word, moving forward. But I think that has been, for me, the biggest thing, like, truly dedicating. I thought I dedicated myself a lot with self-care, and I really didn't, until I started just really focusing and being intentional with it. I feel has been key. And I think one of the biggest things that I have learned is, like, even just, like, my biggest struggle was just, like, being vulnerable. I think it was just my partner. Like, we would see eye to eye, but at the same time we didn't. And it was like, I felt like we were, like, I was growing, and then he was not in the same environment, because I feel like the environment that you hang out with and the people you speak with, the people you hang out with, you know, they always say you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. I would be surrounded by some badass Latinas that are constantly encouraging me. We're constantly growing. I mean, we're growing a team, so we have to keep improving. And I felt like there was always this, like, battle of, like, mindset, or, like, different levels, until we got to a point where it was like, okay, just let it go. Like, they have to want it for themselves. You can't try to push somebody to be something that you want them to be or how you see them, you know?
Right.
They have to truly want it, and they have to go through their journey. So I think letting that go for me was huge because it brought more peace. It brought more of like, now I'm focusing on other things, and it's just been beautiful, the journey that I feel like we've all had.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's the wildest thing when you want something for somebody else because you know that they have the potential,
Yes.
but they're just, it's not clicking for them.
No.
You know, but you're right. It's hard to let go sometimes. You just let them figure it out.
Yeah, I think that even goes with anything, with family, with friends. Like, that's why they say, like, the journey to the top, sometimes you might get lonely or leave people behind, but it's truly in the best intentions of, like, some people just don't want to, and they have to go through their own journey.
Right.
You know?
And it's okay. Like, not everyone wants what you want or
Right.
the things that you see. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it is, like, when you let go, things flow.
Right.
It's so much easier. And what do they say? What's meant for you will never pass you. So I think that's so powerful. And thank you so much for sharing that and being vulnerable with us, too. One thing that I was going to add, piggyback off of you, what you said, Maria, is invest in yourselves. Like, the way and the reason I feel like we continue to evolve and grow is because we put ourselves and we invest in ourselves. Like, we go to events, we go to see speakers, we pay and invest in a coach because it's so easy to know what you think you already know. But there's the way you grow, or the way you grow is through finding out the things that you don't know that you don't know.
Yes.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's awareness. So you're not going to be able to find that or see that as clearly as maybe someone else is that is actually an expert in that. So
Right.
I would just go back to share with all of our listeners, like, you will never, ever lose on investing in yourself, whether that is in health, whether that is in events, whether that is hiring a coach. Like, you will never lose on that. And that's the one investment I would say, please continue to do that. I actually have a bucket that I put for just personal investment.
Yes.
And it's just dedicated to that. So
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's
I
huge.
think, and a lot of people don't realize how much, like, it does go a long way. Like, if I think about it, this year we probably invested the most amount of money in ourselves, like thousands.
Yeah, I can
like
tell by all those
thousands
stories.
of dollars.
can you?
Yeah.
Every 2 weekends, you guys are like, we're in Miami.
It's a good investment.
Yeah. I
I
love it for you guys.
Recently, I posted, I think today, I had posted, we had a training, and they had said, like, sometimes you win and sometimes you learn.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the mindset that we go into. It's always like, what do we learn from it? Even if we might see it as a failure, it's a learning lesson. And truly, that's what keeps us going. Like, okay, what did we learn? And let's move forward.
And it's the journey, right?
Yes.
It's the
agree.
journey.
Fall in love with the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Yay. I love it.
So for all those Latinos, Latinas, if you guys feel us, like, who did you resonate with? There's something that stood out to you, because truly, you're not the only one going through things. Like, we might show we're super out there, we're killing it, but you know, there is times that we have our lows. But I think, again, going back to what we always talk about, like, having the right circle and people that encourage you, like, will go such a long way.
Yeah. Sisterhood.
Love y'all.
Yes.
All right.
See you guys for our next episode.
Peace.